Aloha everybody, and welcome to Cindy's Certified Recipes. Today I'm taking you on a trip down memory lane to the Coral Isle Cafe, which graced the Polynesian Resort at Walt Disney World for 27 years. And we're going to be making their fried shrimp. But before we get to that, if you're not already one of my fantastic subscribers, I would sure appreciate you hitting that subscribe button and also that notification bell so you get first dibs on all my upcoming videos. Now, let's get to these. We're going to start our fried shrimp here by getting the batter ready. And this takes just a little bit of thought a day in advance because it calls for a cup of flat beer. So I just leave some beer out overnight, so it's definitely nice and flat. But we're going to start off here with 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour and 3/4 of a cup of cornstarch. It's stubborn in there. Okay. And a very small amount of baking powder. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And this is white pepper. And it's really to taste. And so I put just a few pinches, go with a little more light pinches. So three light pinches of white pepper. And if you don't have white pepper, just use regular pepper. And then I'm going to give that a little bit of a whisk to get everything so it's even in there. And then in goes the flat beer, 1 cup. And you're just going to whisk that till it's smooth. That's looking pretty smooth. And now this has to go into the fridge for an hour. And so I'm going to be putting some saran wrap on this, and that's going to go in the fridge for an hour. And while that's chilling out, I like to do the shrimp. And if you don't want to butterfly them, you don't have to. You can do them whole. Just the recipe calls to butterfly them. And basically, when you have your shrimp, they're going to be, like this, like that. And you're just taking your knife and putting it down the middle there, not all the way through. And if you go all the way through, they taste just as good. And then you're going to butterfly them like this, so they pretty much look like that. And some will be curlier than others, but that's okay. And like I said, if you don't want to do this step, you can do them, so that they're just normal shrimp. And so then when you wait an hour to do your batter, we will get back to these shrimp and take it to the stove. We have our oil up to temperature and our batter out of the fridge. It's been resting its hour. And we've got our shrimp here, so we're ready to get these fried and start eating. So you're just going to take a couple, or one at a time, one of your butterflied shrimp, and you're just going to drag it through your batter by the tail. Let it drip off. Give it a little help. And drop it down into the batter, into the oil. Move on to your next one. And you're going to fry those till they're nice and golden. I don't like putting too many in at one time since they go in different stages, but that's what you're looking for right there. Isn't that gorgeous? On the rack he goes. It's such a nice light batter. It's perfect. Look at that, you guys. Fantastic. Alrighty. Move on to a whole new group until we get all these fried up. We're getting ready to fry up some of our last shrimp here. Getting anxious to eat them. And you might wonder why I hold on to them when I swirl them like that. And it actually helps them splay open when they're fried before I drop them all the way in. With this one, I cut it differently. It looks funny. It's hilarious. Almost looks like a little lobster. That is it. And now we're going to be moving on to putting them on a plate. You see these beautiful tempura beauties, and when you cut them that way, they got all the little handles here waiting for you just to grab them and eat them, which I'm going to do right now. Look at that. Gorgeous. Get a little bit of sauce. Can you hear that crunch? I mean, just so lightly crunchy. Absolutely delicious. Just like I remember. And if you like, you can actually make or buy a dashi sauce for tempura. I particularly like the cocktail sauce. These are so good and they're so easy, and actually it's very inexpensive. You guys have to try it, and you actually have to check out my Disney playlist for other great Disney Vault recipes. Thank you for joining me on Cindy Certified Recipes. The old classics are still the best, and as always, if it's time tested, top-notch ingredients, and a talk of the table, it's Cindy Certified.